Hi everyone, welcome back to another exclusive episode here at the TCG Party Podcast. Here with me today is what we have is our good friends Noel
What up?
and Giovanni.
Hello, Kevin. How are you doing this week?
Excited actually because we had the E3 conference since last weekend. And we talked about in last week's episode that we were going to talk about the E3 conference, and man, oh man, are we going to talk about that. But before we get to the E3 conferences, I believe Gio has some surprises that Bandai's got to show us today. Gio, what's the update that we got from Bandai today?
2 a.m. That's some pretty hype. We got set 14, or, set 5 in this current block is what they call it. And, yeah, I gotta say, it's pretty hype, They showed us Mass Saiyan rebooted, which got me all hyped up.
Oh, man! Oh, amazing!
They couldn't have picked a better leader to reboot. It's a fan favorite, and Black Deck's being good right now. It adds another leader that is probably going to be viable.
I feel like Black Ducks will never not be good.
I mean, Black Deaths have always been pretty broken in DBS. I mean, we can all agree with that.
I mean, Meki Kabora came out. That deck is pretty good. It might be rogue, but I mean, it's like you'll see it. So like yeah, and they gave us a Vegeta structure deck or starter deck as they call it, and.
You don't give a shit about that guy.
I know one person does, and I know Frank Castle is ecstatic for that.
Oh, he is overly ecstatic. Shout out to you guys out there in the Vegeta Saiyan Army. And
Don't get me wrong, I love Vegeta, but like, we should have gotten a Vegeta starter deck like within the first 3 sets of his game.
That's true.
probably that's not wrong. I mean, we got a draft box leader,
That doesn't count.
so I mean, imagine if they rebooted that draft box leader. Bandai, if you're listening. Anyway, so they gave us new Universe 11 support. Apparently, there's Universe 7 support. There's Hirudegarn support. Um, they're giving us new, SPRs will have a brand new, amazing foiling that they showed in the pictures. Which I have to say, if it looks anywhere near the pictures, they looked beautiful, and yeah, I can't. It was great seeing them to promote the new set with all these 292 brand new cards. That's a lot of cards. If you think about it.
Give me 455, bro.
I mean, that's a lot. That's okay. Now we're going to 300. I think probably I could see them say, hey, look, 300 brand new cards. Da, 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 and but we also have the expansions coming out soon with the boost for this new set. Doing with that new mechanic.
Their boost.
Yeah. So it's a very good time. The hype video was great. They have made
Hey,
yeah.
you forgot one thing, buddy.
What?
In the Xeno Sin Shenron that they showed in the video, we had a
Mhm.
keyword skill we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Yeah, they're introducing. They always introduce a new keyword for these new sets, but nothing's beat barrier yet. I haven't found one that's better than that one yet.
This
But
is not wrong. Oh
but
wait, wait, no, swap. Come on.
um, swap is very good, but I mean, there's nothing being swapped into at the moment, though.
Well, let's not forget that Swap was one of the most playable decks that also made like high tiers. Like back in, you had like your yellow swaps with the Goku lineages. You had the Broly uh, movie swap decks. You had the Frieza swap
Yeah,
decks.
they literally swapped one and then had to swap
And the Vegeta's lineage, I believe, has swap as well.
But there you go. Like Swap is pretty much busted in Dragon Ball.
it. Yeah, they literally printed swap in Goku's lineage, and then once you swap one the deck, and they were like, yeah, no, we're never printing. We're probably never gonna print this again. Barely support for it, and we're getting it in Vegeta's lineage. So we'll see how it goes. But they literally had to stop printing smart cards because of how broken that keyboard was at some point.
Hey Noel, swap plus black deck.
Oh my gosh!
I
Don't
mean,
stop
I
that.
mean the universe 3 boot deck that Sandy Cater and we made in the Discord is pretty close to that.
I mean, yeah, that's basically swap without having to swap.
Yeah, and that got banned.
It's a less efficient swap on top of that.
Yeah, that deck was so fun. It was an aggro deck, but it rewarded sequencing, and it wasn't easy to play. You know, too bad
I
they
thought
don't.
the deck was too good.
Yeah, but they give us. I mean, Mecha's pretty hard to play actually. Speaking of something I found interesting.
The reprint?
Really? It
Yeah,
looks pretty good to me.
the new rebooted Mecha's kind of isn't like we're just doing things.
It looks like it.
No, no, it's actually not. Surprisingly,
Huh.
yeah, it's not Dark Brawly, which that deck turned into. Hey, look, we're big brain. Nah, we're just doing shit now.
Yeah. I love that deck. That deck was too good.
So But
Oh my
speaking about the new set,
for 30K, not giving a shit. Oh, you killed it? Okay, I'll just bring it back.
yeah, but we're getting a new Dark Brawly 30K in the Mass Saiyan deck. Speaking of things, so I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. But the new set looks very hype, Kevin. I believe we're getting another a red Gohan leader in that set, so hoping it's good if that is what I saw.
Give me Red Gohan leader. Yeah.
So it's
Make it another leader.
what?
Make it another burn leader.
I mean, the thing is that it's funny because when they make these starter decks, they're usually the leaders within the same color in the set. Like, for example, what was it? In some of these sets, like the one from the set is usually better than the starter deck. I'm hoping it doesn't happen this way.
Yeah, that would suck.
But it was very very hype, and 2 a.m. then 5 a.m. posting on Facebook. They want people to be excited. They made their designer notes on the summary page, and it's looking, and they said that they're watching over the meta. So maybe, and they said a shakeup could be coming soon. So that is what excites me more. The fact that they said they acknowledge, hey, look, we're
They're
looking,
getting
we're tweaking.
Magic of Frieza again. Oh, wow.
I mean, to be honest, it probably should have never been remade. I mean, but
I said it, but you were like, no, this is amazing. What a great thing Bandai did. I'm like, no, why would you do that?
I mean, you're asking me as a person that likes broken stuff. You're asking, hey, do you like this? Yes. Like, I mean,
I
there's.
like broken things, but I like fair broken things.
Oh, I mean, that was Dark Brawly, Loma. But we'll see. We'll see if they actually, come out. Like, the game needs a shakeup at this point. Like, the decks have kind of been the same now. Like, set 12 added some decks, but like, kind of been the
Okay,
same decks.
by the way, Bandai, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't go back to making a meta dex every damn set, and we have to get new decks every damn set.
I mean, for the people out there that want to play DBS, King Cold is like a $10 deck outside of like the Frieza counterplay and the Boo Secret Rare. That's a very good competitive deck, and at least if it's not your place, it's not your place stuff. But they need to make more of those decks where we can add on to like a very cheap core and add on expensive cards and have our decks
Yeah,
be.
instead of it just being, oh, here's a deck, but it doesn't work without all these expensive SRs and promos.
I mean, the promo wall is kind of obnoxious right now. The Black Vegeta promo is still over $100.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
The normals are like 110, and I think the winners are like 150. more.
That's stupid.
So and
I
the
mean,
King Vegeta. Uh-huh.
it's okay to have the winner at 150 because it's a winner, you know. And it's an
Yeah,
ultimate foil. That's okay. That's acceptable.
I mean I think the King Vegeta ones have gone down a little bit, but they're all still kind of pricey. And it'll be great because seeing this new set, seeing that they're paying attention. I think the game needs some like I think we mentioned this in our old DBS podcast to bring up one of the episodes. And you could go back where I talk about Vegex and how to deal with Vegex and stuff like that.
Oh
Healing
man,
back, healing back those fun, but it's not even about that. I talked about back then that in one of the videos that their ban list was extremely weak and they could have done more. We're at the point like you're reprinting all these sets, you're making brand new starter decks. Since the Vegex has been Vegex is the best deck you've ever made, and then I would put the Kaba used six deck and the Masayan, the original. Like those are probably the best starters you've ever made.
this is correct. I
Um,
do not disagree.
the Android 21. She had her moment in time. I mean, some people like her, but I think for
It's just a good waifu deck, like
I just for the way that I rank them. In no order, those are the three, and Vegex by far has been the best value you could have ever seen in your life for any of these decks.
oh yes,
I
Vegeta
mean,
was insane right out of the gate just by itself was stupid.
and so, they're giving us new starter decks, and hopefully it's way better than the ultimate deck that they claim was going to be competitive and never did anything. So,
Yeah, they just gave me nice shiny cards.
well, shiny cards is good, but, they have an opportunity here. I don't want rotation. I'm going to say that I don't want that, but to give is finally do a ban list and hit things, as much as don't want Reboot Gohan banned in Best of Three, if you ban him, I will have to stand up and applaud you because if you banned in the best one and easily banned in Best of Three, you just don't leave it, you know. And most of the people that play that deck play Majin Vegeta as well.
To be honest, as far as I'm against rotation, I think rotation would actually be healthy for the games.
I don't think the players want that though. I think you start seeing people go back to Yugi, block the Digimon. Um, I don't know. I don't think this player base wants rotation. I mean, the rotation, if you implement rotation, should be set 9 and up or set 10 and up. Because, I mean, you could eliminate set 9, but I think that set 9 is so pivotal with a lot of key cards that I think you should just do set 9 and up.
Well,
Here's the thing though. The problem with
if you do rotation, if you do rotation set 9 and up, then all that swap support that they're printing right now means nothing because then there aren't any swap cards to use.
Well, we have to remember the Battle Evolution booster reprinted Goten and Grandpa Gohan.
well, in my point of view, guys, what I think about is that though rotation is bad, the only problem reason that we could add rotation is because this ban list isn't really acting like a ban list. Like they're mostly banning cards that's just being printed that shouldn't have never been printed at all because they know they made it broken. They're hardly limiting cards. They don't even do semi-limits, so we already know that. So you're only having ban lists and limit lists.
Yeah, not having like
Any erratas.
And erratas, yeah, but like even so, like they just mostly reprint the cards, which is kind of like our own version of erratas, but like you're just like making like like a bad, but the difference is like you only errata like a good card that was just too busted, and they have to make it fair and balanced. And
yeah.
the reprint,
My biggest gripe is that instead of doing a semi limit like they should, like Kevin said that they don't do semi limits, like put a card like the two instead of just straight out banning or putting it to one, because they had a lot of cards that they put to one, and then the next ban that's like, yeah, we're just gonna ban it because nobody's using it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but you can't bring back Flute. You can't bring back Unyielding Trump.
Yeah, I'm not saying to bring those cards back, but there are some cards that shouldn't be at one that could be a two of, and it would be okay.
I mean, they brought back Goten at 4, and I mean, he's not going to do anything. The big question is whether they're going to bring back Bardock the Progenitor at anything that's not banned.
If they
I
do,
think
I mean, if they do, they're gonna have to reprint him.
I think that would be a decent one of or two because you have what's that card that searches for him?
Oh,
Uh,
oh, you mean
the
that?
Successor of Hope?
Yeah, successful hope.
Yeah, that one. You can search for him, so it's okay to have him at one or two.
I mean, now thinking about, I mean, Objection's never coming back. There's two,
Yeah,
like, if Invoker would make that busted, the Zamasu deck would make that busted. Android 16's another random deck.
those cards are not okay. They you cannot interact with them. Period.
Hey, speaking of not interacting, Bandai, can you ban Catastrophic Blow for Invoker?
Yes, please. That is so bad.
You can't interact with it and dying at 6, 7 life, that's always fun.
That's just stupid as hell.
I mean,
But, you know,
I mean, we are
it,
having a ban list as you said earlier, Gio. So we may have that coming up in the Dragon Ball Super ban list.
well, I mean, we have some, PPG is doing their in-person regionals this weekend, and we're good. And Gamers R Us back-to-back days, June 19th and June 20th. So we're gonna have in-life, in-person regionals for Dragon Ball. So we're gonna see with all the new stuff. We're also having, I believe, we're having webcam events for Digimon this weekend, like we stated. We have like 3 webcams for Digimon this weekend. But anyway, um, so we're gonna have a lot of events this weekend, and we're gonna see for Dragon Ball how how well like is the now we're gonna have people going and they're playing for something. Is the meta changed in real life? We'll see. But rotation, if they ever were gonna do that, that 10 would have been the time to do it, don't you think?
If you're like doing the whole rebranding of the series, probably. I say I give rotation 2 years, like Magic, so that way they have enough time to go ahead and
Yeah,
start rotating the set. Or if you're gonna like, and I don't like do rotation like every 3 sets like they usually do, because in comparison, like we say with Pokemon, they only do like 1 year, and then all those cards you end up buying so much money for is gone. With Magic, at least you have 2 years and you have time to do everything, and then they can do the rotations and they can do like ban lists because sometimes they do reprint cards.
yeah, I agree with that. How old is Dragon Ball? Like 3 or 4 years?
It, it's
It's
been it
been.
it's almost about 4 years next month.
Okay, so I would say anything that 2 years is that if they were to implement a rotation, anything that's 2 years old or more than 2 years old, I should say, should be banned. I mean, not banned, rotated out.
I mean, they could introduce a popper format, an expanded format like Pokemon has.
Yes,
They could.
yeah, because when they do a ban list, they do tend to reprint a lot of the items and support cards. But when I saw their ban list, that once it's banned, they never reprint it ever again, and they're never intend to do
I
that.
mean, you can bring back, the 7-drop cell. You could, I don't think he's gonna light the world on fire.
I mean, like I said, you could still reprint some of the cards like you do with Pokemon, but it's like once you ban this card should just be banned and not be reprinted for a while.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, this is true. I mean, they did reprint a lot of things in this new event pack for players as well. I mean, we're gonna have to see how the market goes and fluctuate off of this, but I don't know.
I
And they like it's been needing. This has been needed to happen for a while now. They appease the player base, but for once, they need to do what's right and actually. I'm not saying rotation, but like a huge ban list where they hit multiple decks and we don't see it coming, and we just have a brand new fresh meta and just go on from there. I think it's
yeah,
about time for something
I
like that.
I agree with that too, but I also think rotation. I'm going back on rotation. I think rotation would be good because, that would give them the opportunity to play cards with the proper erratas. You know, they can ban it. And then when rotation hits, they bring it back, but the errata with the errata text, and it gets
So
reprinted
like
again.
those mini sets that they did recently, where they reprinted all the stuff with the erratas on it and all that. This and
Yes, correct. I think that would be amazing. It would help it so that way it would help newer players instead of just being like, oh, why is this card banned? Blah blah blah, or this card's errata, but the card says this. Nope, it does this.
you know what would help? What would help out new players immensely, Noel?
What?
If the starter decks don't freaking suck.
Oh yeah.
Like that's like the biggest problem in this game. Like what I this is something I noticed very recently.
Yeah, we talked about this one of the episodes that out of all starter decks in Dragon Ball, only the black ones are the only ones that have the best starter decks, and they've been the part of the meta for a long time until the next
Got about the
version of the sets
problem.
come out.
But
Got about the problem.
well, here's the thing though. I could go now and tell somebody, hey, get into Digimon, go buy a starter deck. You can make a deck off of that, or you can make Rookie Rush, whatever. I'll suggest Pokemon, even though their starters aren't the greatest. But it gives you a deck, and then if you buy like the battle packs or the different variations, those decks are really good, and you have a cheap competitive deck. But Yu-Gi-Oh has starter decks you buy through those. Even Vanguard. Dragon Ball is the only game where its starter deck is like if it's bad, it's really bad. Like there's just no way around it. Or if it's great, it's broken. There's like no middle road at all. Like if you're mediocre, that's almost saying you're bad. So like if they could print like if both of the like the Vegex, Vegeta, and Frieza decks at the time are great, but as we saw over time, Vegex lasted the longest. The other two just kind of faded away. Frieza faded away after one set, and Vegeta faded away after two sets.
Yeah, what happened to that, Bandai? You said you were support those three decks, and the only support I saw was for Vegex.
Oh, they made a King Cold deck. There you go.
That doesn't no. That's a completely different deck. That doesn't count.
I know that was the sarcasm. That's the point. But it's they're doing a lot of great things. The hype with the new set, the reprinting of sets, the event
I mean,
packs having
Dragon
reprint.
Ball's always been amazing at hyping their player base. They've always gone 200% and above on hyping their player base for new products.
But
They're like the gods of hype.
but like what I'm saying is, it's like I kind of noticed this the other day. Like I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, oh, like how can I get into Dragon Ball? Because they play Pokemon, Vanguard, and Digimon. I was like, he's like, oh, are the starter decks any good? I'm like, no. Like unless you get the Vegex one, they're not that great. He's like, really? Wow, it makes it harder to get into the game. And they ended up buying a TN deck, which I wish they would have just bought King Cold because that would have been cheaper.
TN for the win.
But they found it strange that like they couldn't buy a starter deck and just go from there. And like I'm assuming Mastane's gonna just be really good and Vegeta's not gonna be that great. From what I see in the pictures,
And it's the other way around. I don't
it
know
would
how they
be.
do that.
I don't. They hyped up in that video, Mass saying "reborn, remastered." Like, no, you don't just hype it up for it to be bad. Like Vegeta was just like, "Oh look, we made Vegeta for the first time ever in a structure deck."
And in my
It's
point
like,
of view, guys, I don't think that deck it needed to be reprinted. I mean, usually when you do a reprint with today's game standards, obviously it's going to be something with unisons. I mean, we get that, but minus the unison shit, I mean, there's been no point to do the reprint with Mass Saying. I just don't really care.
it's like one of the biggest fan favorite leaders of all time, and it's a very big thing with the casuals as well. Like I think it was a very big win that it did get rebooted. Now, if they don't make it good, I think you wait like I think you waste the opportunity that you created.
I mean, once they
Like,
reveal the cards that's inside the structure deck and they do the reveal of the leader and they add the unisons and everything, that depends on the players of how will they think about if it's good or not. And then once we do, we will do that review in the sometime in the future in the episodes. And then obviously I know for Noel because he played Mass Saiyan when he came out, so he was very much hyped and very much focused on that deck more than anybody that we know so far. And I know for the fact that if he's disappointed, that means Bandai failed to bring up what was on the table.
well, from what we know, we saw that one of those cards is not a black card in the structure deck. Like it was a colored card.
Oh no! From the video, there was I saw a blue and a yellow card that's supposed to be some of that starter deck.
And,
So
and we had a 30K.
yeah,
So I'm thinking, is he playing 30Ks for free now? Like, what's his?
I'm thinking they're trying to push the fact that he gets crit off of cards that aren't black. So or no, it was no, he gets 5K right when he hits a non-black card.
A black card gives you 5K. No, no, yeah, a five K, and I think the colored card gives you crit. I remember, right?
Yeah, so I think they're trying to bank off that and go more into the multicolored part, and they're probably gonna make him a rainbow deck, unfortunately.
I mean, the last build that I played with Massane was a skillless Massane deck, and that had a lot of potential. Let me tell you, with the Trading Buddy Krillins and Dimension Sportron, it was a very aggressive deck. You
The
know,
last version of Last Stand I played was with the Magic starter cards, and then my old build were with like the eight double strikes and all that nice disgusting goodness of
well, I
the
mean, you're still probably running 6 8 champas, a couple space times and stuff like that. I mean, that probably didn't change, but we'll just have to see, and hopefully, because like I think now that they did Mastine, I think Pan and Set Two Trunks and Set Two Androids, those are like the three next leaders to be going old school that deserve to be rebooted.
and
But
set two cells.
yeah, and Set Two Stout definitely deserves it because it was played, you know. But we'll see. It'd be great because that expert deck though, that whole deck was good. It just wasn't great. And it'd be great if they just rebooted the leader. It'd be great because they're making King Vegeta and Step One Brawly have their field cards, be explosive. Like Style had like a field card in set two, and if they could explore some way to make that more viable and stuff like that, that'd be great. I would like to see that.
I would love
Or
set two future Trunks leader. I would
or
love to
you
see
or you
that.
could or you know what you could do. Set two Trunks would be amazing, by the way.
Yes,
This, I'm
give
saying
me rebooted set two future Trunks, please. That's what
I'm,
I want, Bandai. That's what I
I'm
want for Christmas. Give it to me.
hey Bandai, if you're listening to me, these are the two that I want. Okay, if you could, for the love of God, reboot Universe 6 Copper and make it so he can play any card he wants to. Please, for the love of God,
Please,
do that.
yes, please. Love us, Bandai. Give us what we want. We love you.
And now, if I can't get that, because that he was my favorite deck, I played it in the Orlando Open Regional. Love that deck to death. If I can't get that, can you please reboot Janimba Mill? Can you please reboot that league? That's all you want.
Oh, now you just want cancer. You disgust me. What's wrong with you?
I'm gonna explain my reasoning. You just need that leader, and you could put whatever cards you want in your deck, and it functions. And we need more decks like that. I'm kind of tired of just seeing decks where, hey, look, man, they give us a blueprint. Here you go. Here's some expensive SRs out. Oh, and you need this TP that's super expensive. Reboot me a leader that is the win con, just like Reboot Gohan, and let me put what cards I want into my deck, and let me go and see how this. I mean, yeah, I understand Vegex is a horrible matchup, but not everybody is playing that deck. But give me something where I can make my own deck, brew, and come up with something, and piss people off at the same time. Because
I agree with this. I agree with this statement. Give me rebooted leaders that are the win cons themselves. Thank you.
so
Except for Super Shenron and Shenron starter deck.
oh my god, my other favorite leaders,
Please don't do
Su-
that, man. That's just a horrible idea.
Super Shenron Storm. Oh my god, yes. Love
I
this.
love that deck, but God, it was so pictures. I myself wanted to shoot myself from playing it. I was like, this is so boring. Why am I playing this?
I'm gonna take my next turn. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you now because I couldn't kill you last turn. But it would be great, if you could give us a good Piccolo leader that or reboot the Surge one.
Oh
And
no no no
yeah,
no no! Bandai, give us a good competitive Namekian deck. That's what I want.
you don't want your Boo yellow swap deck.
I mean, that would be amazing too, but that's never happening.
Probably not. No. I love Reboot Gohan from the bottom of my heart. I didn't ask for it; they just gave it to me.
No, you asked for it.
I mean, I did vote for it. You're not wrong, but but you know, it's like the reboot leaders. It's kind of become like the mini lottery. Like you don't know that you want it until you get it, type of
This is
deal.
correct.
And so I think that creates hype with the game, and it brings people back. And if you make the like I said, more decks with the chorus cheap like King Cold, you get more players playing into the game. Because I really feel like Digimon is pounding Dragon Ball in the casual aspect. Because let's be real, casuals don't play Dragon Ball. It's a niche competitive game. It's it. Digimon Locals is pounding the heck out of Dragon Ball Super Locals. For example, seeing 46, 48, 50-man locals across the country, while Dragon Ball locals are like anywhere from 10 to 30. And Bandai's got to fix that as well. And the fact that, yeah, it's hard to get Digimon product, but if you buy singles on TCG or you find it at MSRP, it's 1,000 times easier getting into Digimon than Super. So hopefully this set can finally make it so that newer players.
Yes.
And Universe 11. What if Red Yellow Jiren decks come back? That would be great.
Bandai, you need to make a theme booster where all the leaders are gods of destruction. That's what you need to do.
Oh, you know what I thought of? This would be great. What if this is gonna sound sacrilege, but I think this is a great idea because the Tournament of Power theme is so good in the game. What if they rebooted the Tournament of Power set without the sign card? Because we know that's never coming back. And Victory Strike, that's
Yeah,
never coming
reboot the
back.
sand cards to piss everyone off, Bandai. Do it.
Nah, they're not. They're not done. They did that, right? But in the sets, you reboot Universe 7 Gohan. You reboot Universe 7 Frieza. You reboot U6 Kava. You start rebooting the leaders from if they were in that set or in that draft box that had a couple, the U7 Vegeta promo leader, the green Son Goku. Start rebooting these leaders that like people actually adore and put them in this new rebranded Tournament of Power set. Because that theme always does well. I think it would do good. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think they should make a theme booster. One theme booster, all the leaders are gods of destruction, and then there's a part two to it where the next theme booster is all the angels. I think that's what they should do.
That'll be interesting. What do you think, Kevin?
Honestly, I'm not really interested in the game anymore as I used to. I do understand what you guys mean since we did talk about many of these things beforehand. I do like the idea where Noel's going with the whole Gods of Destruction. I mean, if you're going to make a God of Destruction, you should make a deck that builds around God of Destruction to do casualties against your opponent where they can like do anti-meta styles where they can like harm your opponent for like not doing anything at the moment, or they can do something to hurt their hand, their field, their drop
What
area.
about a burn deck?
No, we have like too many burn decks, but they're not styles. It's not to be burn deck. Their style is that they're supposed to like cripple you down until you now foresee the fact that we're gods and you bow down to us until you plead for your death. Like
So
that's the
you're saying
idea.
we should all be control decks? That's what you're saying.
Oh, you know what? What if they made that Sun Goku Unison where it makes everything a vanilla? What if they made that a leader effect? So you start blanking everything.
Oh, that would be dope. But as a god of destruction,
Yeah, as a goddess
that
destruction.
would be that would be a nah. That would have to be like a grand priest leader.
There also has to be like a secret rare for the deck that like for like the gods. Like you probably can make the Zeno, you can make the Supreme Guy, whichever you want to make it, or Beerus if you want. Whichever secret it does.
It should be the secret rare should be a Zeno or grand priest.
Yeah, yeah. Or you could reboot the old Xeno leader, that black one, I believe, that came
Oh,
in
it
subset.
could be grand priest, Zeno, and super Shenron as the secret rares.
There you go. Because they are the creations of the and the destructions of everything. So they have to be the ultimate secret where they could do something that gives you the advantage and puts your opponent at the disadvantage once that card is summoned. Like kind of like their own terms of victory strike or their cell, Xenoverse. You know anything that basically cripples down your opponent to submission the moment this card is already on the field.
Zeno Sama.
So I mean, Bandai's giving us a lot to talk about with Dragon Ball. It gave us a lot of excitement. They're giving us hope for the game because
And
the game's not in a bad spot. It's just
it's boring.
just
Nah, it's
it.
dead.
I think that's an exaggeration. I don't think it's that.
It's not
I
dead.
do.
It's just boring because it's just repetitive. It's just they really were writing ideas and the stuff that they should have done instead was their mistakes, and that's why they're doing this whole replay thing since set 10. And honestly, I just like feel like it just doesn't feel the same like it used to. And they made that mistake when set 3 came. They started adding the whole warp thing with overrealms and everything. Honestly, it just felt like they kind of rushed it. They should have just taken their time like they're doing with Digimon this at the moment. You know, like when Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, when they all got started, they took their time, they took their effort. They didn't have to rush. They did whatever they had to do to entertain the players and provide the goodness of like of all the casual players got to do. You know, at the time when these games came out. Yeah, sure,
Well,
they sure.
I can confirm this, having played Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh when they both dropped. Yes. It,
Bandai. I understand that it makes you money to keep constantly be making androids and Goku and
Goku.
Vegeta decks and all that other nice things, but you need to expand your horizons in deck creations and card creation with characters. Like there are so many characters that are still aren't cards or even leader cards that you have yet to print. Like Launch and King Piccolo, that was a great step in the right direction. Keep on doing that. I want more cards of characters that we haven't seen yet. Like, give me a nail leader. I want a nail leader, Bandai.
Get
Or
or
give me a
shoe.
Yakamubi leader. Or a shoe leader.
Chaozu.
Or a Chatsu. Or a
Videl.
Zen leader. We have a Videl leader, don't we?
No, we do not.
How about the Great Saiyaman? That's what you've been asking for.
Give me a great Saiyaman leader! I want a
We,
great Saiyaman
they
deck!
technically gave us that in set 5 with the Wish Leader.
No, it
That
says
doesn't
Gohan
count.
Adolescent.
That
You
doesn't
want
count.
me
It's
to
considered
get
Gohan in the
get
Saiyan suit. That's not in the Saiyaman suit, but that's not Great Saiyaman.
I mean, not wrong, but
It doesn't count. No, he's considered Gohan, not Great Saiyaman.
give me give that dinosaur. What's that dinosaur? He's a vanilla card already. Make him a leader. Make that guy a leader. Give me a Cyberman deck where the leader is Cyberman. Come on, Bandai.
You want a flight of Icarus deck with the yellow skills Gohan? They could
Yes,
totally do
give
that.
me that.
I mean, there you have
I want
it.
Icarus leader. Give me a damn Icarus leader, Bandai. Where's your imagination, damn it? I still love you.
It's all gone to Digimon. Anyway, so
All right.
bringing back Digimon, getting to that portion of it real quick. It's great that they're bringing us event packs for Digimon and these webcam events next month in July. We're getting Lord Nightmon as an alternate art, and we're getting Biomon Blocker as an alternate. You know, of course they would make the 2-0 broken deck of the format for the next set in alternate art, right? Right, Noel?
I know, right? Amazing.
Purple Biomon, I definitely want a set of that, because that looked really cool.
Yeah, that's the only color I don't own in the whole game, purple. But yes, I agree with you.
So, it'd be neat. They're giving us June events, and they're giving us July events. I kind of wish Dragon Ball had a lot more webcam events. That was like something else I was ranting about, like that, like Digimon. Oh, you could always play Digimon. You could always play pick up Digimon. You could play with your friend. You go on Discord servers, play there. There's free locals for Discords that you could play. Dragon Ball is starting to. Let me shout out the Stage Zero boys. You guys do it great doing free local webcams on Wednesdays. And I believe the 3XG Discord is about to do that soon. And we need more of that in Dragon Ball. But anyway, so, it's great that Digimon's giving us event packs. Now we have dash packs on Dragon Ball. They're giving us all the stuff that DBS has in Digimon. So it's great. They give us pre-release. Now, Bandai, I'm just curious. Are you going to give us foils of cards? Because, DBS got foils of common and commons eventually. Am I going to get a foil V-Mon? Or do I have to settle for an alternate? I'm wondering, Bandai. That's what I'm wondering.
I don't. I think I like all cards more than foils.
Okay, that's reasonable. I mean, I like everything they're doing with Digimon because it feels like they're taking Pokemon and Magic concepts and putting in that game, and it just works. You know, can't complain. But it's great.
Amazing.
Can't can't wait for those event packs, and then hopefully they just don't give us a lot of event packs. Hopefully it just remains a couple of cards and they're alt arts. That's great. I'm sure people are already pissed enough about Pulsemon being a pre-release promo only, and the Dashback promos. But hey, and the Power Up packs. But either
I
way.
want Pokemon. Give me the Pokemon.
All right. All right, guys. So it's good to talk about the Bandai. We talked about very good, decent, what's going on. But now it's time to go to our main event of the evening, and that, guys, is the E3 conference. So since Saturday, we've already got to see all the E3 conferences. I know Noel only got to see a certain portions at the time. I had to watch as much as I can since I had to work, so I had to watch without getting spoiled or anything. I know Gio got to caught up with everything as much. So the portion of the show started pretty okay, and then they had like that guy who was like running in California, and um, when he started up in the show, when I watched it during the GameSpot channel, because that's what I got to see most of the E3 conferences. That guy, I don't know if you caught his name, Gio. I think it was Anthony something.
I don't believe I caught his name. No.
I know. When I saw him, he was trying to do his introduction to E3, and he was boring as shit. It was boring me. Like he just
I
did.
mean, I felt like they really didn't. Like I felt like because I saw some of the IGN coverage along with like the main coverages. It kind of even watching the IGN stream, it kind of just felt like the people were just there and they kind of didn't need to be. Not that I'm saying they
No,
did
yeah, they
anything
were
bad.
just like overhyping themselves, acting like a bunch of goofballs. Like, oh my god, guys, it's so great. I know what you mean. Oh, come on, you can't tell on guys like
Yeah.
that. So just,
I don't know if it's because we're on track for normalizing or not normalizing. On track for recovering from COVID, but In all honesty, E3 was boring as hell this year.
Um, I don't think it was boring. I just think that Xbox and Nintendo dominated with their conferences, and everything else was just kind
Um,
of weak.
Actually, because I wrote down on my list here, and for those who don't know, you can hear the papers here. I literally wrote down all the fucking games that that was coming out, that they were explaining all the trailers and everything, from Ubisoft to Xbox Bethesda to Square Enix to the Nintendo, Capcom, and Bandai. And an order, I'm just gonna give you the ways in the orders I gave reviews. So only just the main six. I didn't do much of the digital Devolver or Devolver Digital, what the hell you want to call it, indie games. I didn't really care much. Uh, I didn't really care for the Warner Bros. Because they only talked about one game, which would be revealed here, which was the Back for Blood series. Ubisoft, I'm gonna start off with. I thought it did a great job. They did a lot. They did a lot of good gameplays. They explain a lot about how the game works. You know, what's more of like what other game shows didn't really explain. They mostly did a lot more trailers than do gameplays. But they separated some things, so I guess I'll take away from points from that. But I gave Ubisoft an 8 out of 10. Their shows were excellent. They had promising gameplays, like I said. Two big games I give because I highlight to the big games that mostly people should get recognition, in my point of view. Rainbow Six Extraction was pretty decent. I enjoyed the trailer. They did a lot of good explanation of the gameplay, and they show how the missions can be a little crazy and yet very intense. But it was like gives you all the edge and adrenaline you want to put into yourself for playing the mission. Pretty decent. And of course, the best one I think was by far was the Far Cry 6. And I thought the game trailer was decent enough, but the gameplay for it was incredible. The explanations, how the story rolls, how you get to play as two versions of Denny, the guy and the girl version, but they still resolve story with the story, and basically having the main villain who kind of reminds me a lot of where they explain where it's like based off Cuba, where it is today, how they're still stuck in the 1950s despite where we're in the 21st century, dictatorship, all that stuff. I thought that was pretty good. And there's like a revolution, a rebellious group who tries to fight against the main antagonist of the story, and how they have to like find a way to stop all of his 300,000 armies, and then stop the villain who's manipulating his son Diego, who he's trying to enroll to run the whole place as a dictator. So it's really good. It's really intense. The weaponry is incredible. I like how you get to run with the pets, especially when you're like a crocodile and that wears like a jacket, or the dog that has his legs messed up. He has to be like a little special wheelchair that most animals, four leg animals, have to be in. But I thought it was so cute, and he's a great distraction. So I like the idea of the story. What do you guys think?
That was one of the things I did not see, so I cannot comment on that. But it does sound badass. I will give you that.
I did see the Rainbow Six trailer, and I was kind of surprised at how good it looked. I mean, the games are usually pretty good in their own right, but I don't know. I kind of got caught off guard by like how like the graphics and all that stuff came across, and it looked really neat
So
for what it is.
With Far Cry 6, I heard apparently that not many people were fond of the graphics. I thought the graphics were okay. Um, I've never been a Far Cry.
Yeah, they're all right.
I've never been a Far Cry fan, by the way, guys. Never been. Not until I saw this.
My my favorite Far Cry was Far Cry 3. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this though. The only downside for this, Noel, is that Far Cry 6 is only going to be for the Xbox.
I mean, that's what I'm going to be buying, unfortunately. So
Xbox, Xbox, Xbox.
unless Sony finally comes out with their own conference, because they're cool and they don't need to hop on the bandwagon and be like everyone else. They want to do their own thing, like the cool kid,
I mean,
and they just
Nintendo was doing that before
swing.
they did.
They just come out swinging from out of nowhere and shit on everybody. Then I'll go back to buying a PS5 first. But until that happens, right now Xbox Series X is gonna be the first thing I buy for next gen console.
I agree. PlayStation not being in the E3 conference annoys me. They owe us a lot after that bullshit that we had to go through last year with the scalping of all the console and the pre-orders. It was really ridiculous. It was so aggravated, like me and
I mean,
my.
they're still scalping PS5s. Like that's still
I mean,
happening.
no, that's still happening. Yeah, I get. Which is scalping is not dead. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying like from last year it was just bad and PlayStation didn't really give us the proper date to do the pre-order like Xbox did, which they were smart. That's why they allow PlayStation to do their thing. So this one, I have to give Xbox their due, and they have the respect for it. So yeah, I'll give Xbox their due. I'm not probably gonna get an Xbox. But I will say that PlayStation did owe us, and they should have done an apology or whatever. But
I mean, Halo 5 multiplayer being free. Oh, they definitely came out
Yeah,
clean.
yeah, that was like the biggest bomb that Microsoft fucking came out with.
we never
Yeah,
talked.
we're
We
getting
never
the Halo,
talked about
the
Halo
Halo
5 ever.
3. I was just like, what? You're telling me I don't need to buy the campaign to play Halo? Because I never played the campaign to begin with. The only Halo campaign I ever completed was ODST and Halo 4.
Uh,
Or yeah, Halo 4. That's it.
I completed 3. I got stuck in a mission with my friend ODST. I never got to complete Reach, which is sad because that's the best Halo game ever coming out.
I actually don't like Reach. I think it was bad.
Wow.
And
Um,
this is me. This is me and my personal opinion and
I
preference.
mean, I agree with Noel though.
I
I think Halo 1 and 2 were the best ones.
Uh,
Yeah, I
I'm very
think
disappointed in you two.
Reach was shit for one reason and one reason only. How the fuck are you gonna put running in the game, but it's an item pickup? That is dumb as fuck.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We're doing great, and now bleep 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 city. Here we go.
All right. I'll tell you this though. The one thing the only game I'm not a fan of in Ubisoft's making, and this is also my opinion, but fuck Avatar. I don't even care if you guys are fans of that. Fuck that piece of shit movie. Fuck that. Fuck James Cameron for making that movie. Fuck that. Fuck. I hate Avatar. I said it, folks, and I ain't afraid of it. Fuck Avatar. What is it?
Wait,
Frontiers of
I didn't.
Pandora. Fuck that game.
I,
Take a shit on it. It sucks.
you're hella triggering me right now. That movie's amazing.
You hella triggered me on Reach? Are you kidding me? I get the running, but come on. That's a great fucking game. Best multiplayer, good storyline. Are you shitting me on that?
Dun
Oh,
dun 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 dun.
This E3 conference is amazing. You know what? We should have been in the E3 conference and said, fuck you, this game is awesome. Fuck me, this is great. Alright.
That's what we got right now. This is probably gonna be the longest episode we're gonna do.
I know. Alright, we're gonna go straight to the Xbox Bethesda. So Xbox Bethesda had about 30 fucking games to review, gentlemen. I'm not joking. 30 fucking games. I counted. They even said it, and it was correct. It was 30 games.
Elder Scrolls Xbox exclusive. I'm
Oh,
done.
let's talk about that. Noel. They didn't mention that, by the way. They didn't. Todd
yeah,
Howard, Steve starts the show, and there's no meaning of Elder Scrolls 6. But we do get the new game Starfield. We already got Fallout 76 Steel Rain bullcrap. We
don't give
got
a shit
Elder
about
Scrolls
it.
Online Blackwood Edition. And of course,
Don't
we
give a
got the
shit
new.
about it.
And then the only one that I actually think was good was Redfall. But everything else can go fuck itself. Bethesda fails
Yeah,
again.
didn't give a shit about the first three things you said. Redfall looks amazing. I definitely like the second Jill told me that Bethesda announced that all their games are gonna be exclusive to Xbox is what made me go, yep, I guess I'm buying an Xbox now.
If honestly to say, it's been 3 years, guys, since the moment they did a brief reveal of Elder Scrolls 6, and they had 1 fucking year since the pandemic to do something about it, and Todd Howard and his stupid company hasn't done shit. And Xbox spent about over $7 million or $1 billion on Bethesda, and they expected something, and this is all they get. Xbox, on the other hand, had like. Well, we have Among Us 15 players that's already out because now you can play Among Us on Xbox and all gen consoles, which is great. Hades that we got to play in the Switch is now official in Xbox. Everyone talks about Halo Infinite. We got Diablo 2
Xbox
Resurrection.
is my Elder
Battlefield 2042.
That game which I don't care for. And yeah, you got Age of Empire for War. So you got all these games, and oh, and sorry about Forza Horizon 5 that shows gameplay as well.
That game looked really good.
That game looks amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you got.
That's probably like the only thing I miss about Xbox is the Forza games.
I mean, yeah, because I was never a fan of Gran Turismo. I felt they were overhyped. That's probably gonna annoy people.
So I tried getting into it. Everyone that I knew that grew up playing it was like Gran Turismo was the best racing game growing up. And I played, and I'm just like, this is boring, dude. There is nothing fun about this.
I mean, it's just like a worse Forza. And then that game came out later.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's literally a shitty version of Forza.
I gave Xbox 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. I will give Xbox. We're gonna go 9 out of 10. I can't give it 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna give Xbox a 6.5.
Oh, okay. And I'm not even the Xbox fanboy here. I just rated it super high because they.
It's because the reason I gave it a lower score, guys, it was too much game trailers, it was too many games to review, and too much not much explanation on most games except for the Forza, which is the only one that had the gameplay, and it did have and Bethesda again, which I'm not surprised because I shouldn't be, is never really brings up. This is the first time Xbox Bethesda does a thing together, and it didn't really bring much promises. Like I said, only the Red Dawn game was the only one that looked fucking cool, and I think that's the only one I could get for an Xbox. Halo got to show something that you haven't heard in a while, but then again, I just don't care anymore because Halo died for me.
The Gamer Pass stuff was pretty epic too.
Yeah.
Every fucking game you see here is Gamer Pass, but it's just who cares?
That's another thing too as to why I'm switching over to Xbox. Because if I pay for what was it called, Gamer Pass Platinum or some shit like that.
Gamer Pass Plus, I think.
Yeah, I basically pay what so $60 for gold, and then what's 5 times 12?
60.
Pay like another 30.
That's 60.
Yeah.
No, it's.
So let's just say I pay $100 a year for gold, and then I get unlimited amounts of games I can stream. Oh, and I get
to play on your computer.
And play them on my computer. I don't have a computer.
Well, for example.
It's just that they brought a lot to the table for once, and they delivered. Like it wasn't Xbox One. Hey, we're here to show you Connect and Bomb, and make everybody buy a PS4 like this.
Yeah, that was so. They're like, here, have an overqualified VHS tape.
Xbox One with Connect also is one of the reasons why I was not interested in getting it, and I stopped going for Xbox. And I sort of wish I went to the PS4 time because I didn't have to be a hard SB on an Xbox kit, but I should have gone for the PS4 because at least they did a great job,
Yeah, PS4 was definitely the console to buy last generation.
Yeah.
But it's looking like Xbox and Nintendo will have to duel it out, and we don't know what PlayStation's plans are. But
it looks like they're just tag teaming on Sony at this point. To be honest,
they're going to do it for now because
we do know that Xbox and Nintendo have this partnership where they're going to share games with each other at some point. So, yeah, I don't think
and Master Chief on Switch, Nani?
I don't think this is a bad thing because I don't think we need a Sony PlayStation monopoly. I don't think that'd be good.
How amazing would they add Master Chief in Smash then?
That would be great too. Speaking of Smash.
Well,
I'll flip my shit.
All right, so okay, I guess that'll be enough for the Xbox. All right, so the next one, guys, we have is Square Enix. Square Enix was.
I give it a 3 out of 10.
Square Enix to me was incredible. They did a great job. I'll tell you what, the one game that hyped me up already, Guardians of the fucking Galaxy is coming out, and we later found out it is coming out for Nintendo. So I'm already hyped for that shit. So Guardians of the Galaxy look great. They did the gameplay of the story. You get to create the story and you get to follow along how the story portrays out Noel. It's so good. The only thing I'm only gonna give one bad review is just Drax's voice actor. It's just not that great. But other than that,
I'm skeptical because Marvel's Avengers was straight trash, and you know they're making Guardians of the Galaxy now. Yeah, I am not like it looked good. Like I got hyped for it, but I have a lot of doubts about that game.
I mean, you won't know until you try the demo. But I mean, for the Switch, sometimes the Switch is like a hit or miss. Sometimes because of their graphics, but for other gen consoles, I would recommend trying the demo first, see how it is, and if you don't believe in it, that's fine. That's your opinion to get not to get the game. To me, I want to get this game. It looks fucking incredible. I'm happy for that.
I mean, when I get an Xbox, all the AAA games are gonna stay on my Xbox, and I'm gonna keep all the Nintendo exclusive and indie games on the Switch.
Of course, you also got here for Square Enix. You got for like 4 mobile games. They got Hitman Sniper, Nier Reincarnation, Final Fantasy World of Visions Bro X's, and Final Fantasy 7. You also get another one which is sad. Life is Strange Remastered with their new
And,
upgraded versions and a new game coming out called True Colors, which they're both also going to come into the Nintendo Switch.
and
Yeah, I know. And then you got Stranger of Paradise, a Final Fantasy collection. So,
you know what was that one Xbox game, Sun Paradise or some shit like that? Sunrise something. The dude with the guy in the mohawk, and he would grind with grenades all over the place and soda guns. I want a part 2 of that game.
I'm trying to look at the list here.
Sunset Overdrive, that's what it was called. Sunset Overdrive. Please give me a Sunset Overdrive 2. That'd be amazing.
Okay. Yeah, I gave, so it was a good review, it had excellent game trailers and good gameplay, so I gave Square Enix a 9 out of 10. Gio?
Uh,
Oh, that's right.
anyways,
Oh, that's right, Gio had to go do his thing, so, because he has to do something for his blood pressure. But we'll get his response back in the show later on. No, yeah, but I enjoyed it, Square Enix. Next one, I was very disappointed with this one here, Capcom, which they only had about 4 game trailers. I expected to it. It was just too short and was not well to be interested. So the games here, you got updates for Resident Evil Village. You got a Reverse with DLC, which is pretty much a thumbs down. Sorry, thumbs up. You got Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, which comes out for the Nintendo Switch.
I'm kind of hyped for that. I'm a little bit hyped for that.
We have Oh yeah, pretty much. And you have the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles that's now officially coming into America. And Capcom Pro Tour 2021, which they mostly talk about Street Fighter tournaments of Street Fighter 5, which is the shittiest game of Street Fighter.
Where's my Street Fighter 6, Capcom? What the fuck?
I gave this 2 out of 10. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was. I'm not even gonna give it a score. That's how much I didn't like it.
And now, Nintendo's turn. Alright, so
I'm gonna give that a 7.5 out of 10. Right off the bat, just gonna go straight to it.
I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Obviously, it was an excellent direct. I'm very whatever with the Smash character. I'm sorry, Noel. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, I was upset. I was like, who gives a flying fuck about Tekken? Whoa! I never even played Tekken in my entire damn life. What the fuck? Give me Crash Bandicoot, you retards.
Sakurai says he'll be showing his direct with Kazuya sometime next week.
Listen, Sakurai, if you're not gonna give me Crash Bandicoot, at least give me Dante.
Maybe we might hope to see maybe in the next DLC pack if he promises that. So.
So I'm back, and I'll just let you guys finish, and I'll have my dedicated Nintendo spot.
That's
what I
fine.
thought.
That's fine. We were just getting onto the Nintendo. So, straight up, I'll ask you the other two questions of Square Enix and Capcom later on, Gio. With
Okay.
Gio,
Nintendo,
what do you think about Tekken coming into Smash?
Oh, I was super excited. This was totally left field. Um, I am not the biggest Tekken guy, I will say,
none of us
but
are.
seeing a character from that franchise, and Bandai Namco makes the game, and it's their character, right? And I know Pac-Man is also their character, if anyone was going to go there. But the fact that they put this guy in, and like it's very synonymous with Tekken, and they just threw a bone, and I was hyped. At least it wasn't some like, for example, it wasn't like Dixie Kong or something. Like it was left field, but like it could have been like, oh, okay, really, cheese DLC, or like they didn't give the people like Shantae, nothing left field like that. The trailer was hype. I thought the trailer was really cool, actually.
I just laughed.
It was. I mean, like the character was killing everybody. He's killing more people than any of the people in the trailers. Like,
Except my boy Kirby, who survives every day.
I mean, he's
Bro,
he's never
my
dying.
boy Kirby for the win, though. La.
I
I
mean, Sakurai's not killing his child. I
No,
mean,
and I knew he was gonna come up because you can't kill Kirby. He's a fucking balloon.
so I mean, he killed Ganon. Like, starts the trailer and he's dumping Ganon,
Captain
killing Falcon,
Falcon.
Pit, Min, Marth. Like, I mean, Marth died for a new Fire Emblem character as the last DLC? Question mark. But anyway,
Ugh.
Oh, man.
it was great. I don't know, it was great. They started off. They knew we wanted the character. They started off with it. They didn't mess around. They went straight to the point. So I commend them for that.
Yeah.
But if you want me to, do you want me to expand my whole thoughts on the whole presentation, Kevin? Because
Uh, I
this
mean,
is the one I watched the most since I'm like the biggest Nintendo boy here.
oh, of course, yeah. But I was just gonna get into the point, and then we'll hear
Okay,
it.
yeah. So I'm usually the person that's like, I watch these directs and I'm just like, okay, cool. It's the direct is fine, stuff like that. It's okay. But this from start to finish, I felt was like one of these directs in a very long time that I'm like, man, that was really good. Like they knew what we wanted. They started off strong and it just kept going and going, and it was just like, okay, when is it gonna stop? And then they gave us Mario Party Superstars, and then they gave us Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake. Then they gave us Advanced War.
It's a remake or a remaster?
It's a remaster, but like they did remake it. It's different though. Like,
It's like more high definite quality. This is a game that you got to
yeah.
play on the N64. It was literally one of the best games that came out at the time.
I'm
This,
So
a
like,
skating fan, I never played a Tony Hawk skating game in my life.
I mean,
oh,
that
I would tell you to play it. They're really fun.
no, they were back in the day when it was like the grunge years, like the during the before the millennium. Like this was like the skateboarding at that time was like the biggest hype, so it was really good. Yeah, I agree with that one. And we also have here 20th anniversary of the Super Monkey Ball games, now known as Super Monkey Ball Mania. Hope you guys
I
get.
I don't know what any of that was about because I don't think it ever came out in America. If I'm
It
correct,
has. It was on the Dreamcast.
before my time.
Yeah, exactly. I
Uh,
thought that was great. I was kind of shocked they
I didn't
brought
know
that
what
game
that
back.
was, and I was like,
of course, we also got Mario Party Superstar, the newest game that now you can go
Which I
ahead,
referenced.
which now you can
Yes.
do your online games, and I recommend getting this because it's gonna be a lot of fun. Of course, I'll tell you what's more. I got more hyped than Mario Party, guys. WarioWare got it together. I was hyped because
That was super hype, Kevin. I'm 1,000%. The
I,
fact that that came out.
but because
I
I've been asking for a WarioWare game for a long time since I went to a friend's house and I played it for the first time on his GameCube, and we played this with a bunch of friends as a party. It was fucking great. It's his version of Mario Party, but it was hilarious. It's fun, and for the first time ever, you can play co-op with this, which makes the game even more interesting. It's fucking good. I want this game.
I was mostly hyped about a game that hasn't been made in 20 years, or just under 20 years. Metroid Dread.
That's right, guys. Metroid Dread is now official. This is the fifth Metroid game coming out. It's the first of the series in 2D style game style in 20.
I mean, we are getting Metroid Prime 4. That's you do know that, Noel, right?
Yes,
Like
I
we're getting.
understand that, but that's if I'm not mistaken, that's a first-person shooter.
Yes, I believe so.
They say they haven't really done much to explain in the direct, but they did show 5, and they did their gameplay for it, which is pretty cool. Um, and of course, guys, they did promise us, and they gave it to us. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2, which they will now give a name sometime soon. It comes out next year, 2022, and the game trailer to it looks excellent and ecstatic, and shows you new ways to travel around the game. So get ready, because if you guys haven't played Breath of the Wild or Hyrule Warriors yet, gotta get into that, because Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out, and a lot of people are very ecstatic to try out, And I'm thinking maybe I might want to start with the Legend of Zelda series myself, so that way I can catch up to the story and have a good time.
That hey man, it looked Link was parachuting down in Warzone, going to Superstore at the beginning of that trailer. So. But they brought back Cruisin', the old racing franchise. That was hype. Advanced Wars, another good title. It's just like they kept hitting what we've been asking them forever. And it's like, here you go. You've been asking for this. We know that all the three Pokemon games are coming out. It's like,
Well, the problem with that one is what pissed me off about this direct, though. I lowered the score for it. Is because they didn't bother talking about the Pokemon Sinnoh remakes. They didn't bother talking about like they did where in the last direct of 2019 they've already talked about the Sword and Shield that was coming up that year. But we're having the remake coming up this year, the same month as where Sword and Shield came. So why did we not get that? And we're confused because we later on, when we get to that point, they did get to talk about the Pokemon League, which then it happened which happened yesterday, which in today's recording it's a Friday, so it happened yesterday on Thursday. But where is my remake? Do we have to wait for another Pokemon Direct to explanation because time's running out? November's coming around the corner.
I'm sure they'll do a small little direct for you, Kevin.
They better, because I'm gonna get both games.
let
Yeah,
me keep ranting about how amazing this Nintendo conference was.
yeah, pretty much.
I'm not trying to overhype it, but
No, you should. You have every right to.
it's like the first time. I think I was saying this earlier because I just took my medicine. It's the first time I felt in a direct. I was like, man, they're hitting home runs. It's not like, oh, here you go. Here's a single. Here's a single. Like they were trying actively because I was hoping they're going last or the last day, and it was one of the last conferences. I was hoping for them to come out and say, hey, look, we got games. We're trying to please our crowd and make sure that our community is happy, and I felt like that's exactly what they did. You know, I mean, they didn't give us like a Mario Strikers game, which I would now that's like one of the few games left. I hope they remake. The Mario Golf game looked really good actually
I'm not
with
actually.
all the crazy,
Well, to
huh?
me, the opposite. I'm actually the opposite. I'm not really a fan of that game.
The crazy modes, like yeah, the normal mode I'm not a fan of, but the crazy battle kind of modes, I was like, oh okay, there's something else to it, not just like the normal thing. You get me?
No, I meant the whole game. I don't really give a shit about that game.
I mean, it's hit or miss. I understand. And
And of course, if you guys don't have it yet, you can play now Dragon Ball Z Kakarot with the DLC.
oh, I was hyped for that, Kevin, when I saw that.
But
Exactly.
yeah, I saw that. I was like, yay! I don't have to get a PS or an Xbox to play that. Let's go.
Not only that, Noel, they now revealed from Bandai DLC number 3 is coming out where they're gonna do the Trunks future story arc.
Ooh, too sexy.
So you get to have that, guys, and that's gonna be enjoyable. Gio, what do you rate the Nintendo Direct?
I mean, we're going 10-10.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that was I was not I was hoping it would be 8 or 9, but the fact that gave us WarioWare, like you said, a lot of different games. They're giving us another. They put Just Dance for the casuals. They put that Shin Taichi 5 game.
Do you mean
Like those.
Shin Megami Tensei 5?
Yeah,
Which also comes out the same month as the Pokemon games.
yeah, and the Just Dance game that I just referenced. And they got Sonic Colors coming out. They have No More Heroes. They have a lot of good titles coming up. That I don't know. It just kind of I feel like it lived up to what it needed to be, and it's them. I'm just hoping that they like the thing that when I was watching the Metroid Dread trailer, I was surprised that we didn't get a Switch Pro announcement because that game looked clean, but I felt like it looked like a super high intensive graphic game. I mean, I could be wrong, but so I thought, oh, are they really gonna do it? Give us a Switch Pro announcement, and they didn't. That's the only thing that kind of just for me was just like left behind. They could have done that.
Yeah, I actually thought they were going to talk about the Pro. You guys were like hyping about that, but they never made that happen.
Hey, watch. They're gonna wait for Sony to announce their conference, and once Sony's conference is over, they're gonna steal the hype from Sony's conference and be like, "We're having another direct, and it's about the Switch Pro."
Exactly.
Smash has one more character left. I'm surprised that we didn't get a new Mario Kart. Actually,
Oh my god, I actually forgot about that. Yeah, where the fuck is Mario Kart 9, guys? Come on.
Or at least some DLC for 8.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
they had a long time to do that. They haven't done shit for that.
I mean, yeah, like they gave an update to Mario Party, which I mean, to be honest, I think the Mario Party needed that update.
Online.
That update shouldn't have even been an update. That should have been what that update added should have been in the game from the get go.
Yeah, really. Because at the time when everyone had the COVID, like, how the fuck was that going to work anyway? They should have done that during the COVID, actually. What the fuck? Well, if they did talk about if they ever added Mario Party, I'm sorry, Mario Kart 9 and Pokemon or one or the other, I would have get this review at 9. And then finally, guys, Bandai Namco, which both me and
One
Jared
game.
were so confused, and we found out it's legit one game. Noel, it's part of the Dark Pictures series. It's now called House of Ashes. Yay!
Whack.
It's a
It's a 0 out of 10 for me.
1 out of 10 because there's only one out of 10. Because who the fuck knows? I don't even know what this game is, and I don't really care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you're getting out of me. Uh-huh. I mean, I thought the guy explaining the game was a little bit too excited, but yeah. Capcom, Bandai,
Square Enix.
and yeah, Square Enix, yeah, they really left us with a lot to be desired.
So, since you weren't around during the Square Enix and Capcom review, what were your thoughts on Square Enix and Capcom?
I was kind of hoping for like a new Street Fighter game, or like DLC for Street Fighter Five, because I think I had heard they were gonna make an alpha or an arcade version of Five since an update ruined that game. But nothing. I was expecting maybe a Mega Man title. I don't know. I was expecting something Capcom-ish, but no, didn't get any of that.
What's funny, really, I was like the day when Capcom was supposed to do the reveal. Um, I was working and I spoke to this customer. She was wearing an Ace Attorney T-shirt, and I said, "Oh, so you're gonna watch Capcom?" She was telling me yes. We had a little conversation before she was leaving the register with her mom, and then she was excited to see the Capcom series. And when I got home after I watched it, I probably would think in my head, "Man, not only this Capcom thing sucked, but I might feel bad for that little girl who was like, I think she was like a teenager. She was probably like hyping for the Capcom series. She might have been happy maybe with the Ace Attorney thing, but everything else must have been trash. And frankly, I didn't really like any of them. I'm not a fan of Monster Hunter. Sorry, Noel. Okay. Oh wait, actually, we forgot to talk about one last thing.
Oh, what's that?
I have a guy. So basically, before I forget, all right. So we had the other day we had the Pokemon Elite Switch and mobile game coming out.
Mmm.
Yeah.
The Unite. Yeah.
So
That game looks really.
yeah.
That game looks really good.
I heard a lot of in the Pokemon group that we're in Facebook that Moses is not very happy. Most people of them are not happy because they didn't get to have the Diamond and Pearl reveal, which I had a feeling. But I'm not gonna shit on it. I saw it for the first time and I didn't think about Diamond and Pearl remake, and I thought this is looking pretty good. It's your League of Legends of Pokemon with a little hint of basketball apparently, but it's good. It looked the trailer was fun. I like how they're doing it. It's funny how they're even on pre-evolutions when Mr. Mime is their basic Pokemon, like in the Pokemon card games. So you don't get Mime Juniors, you don't get Rylu's, you don't get Pichu's and all that.
Okay.
And to top it off, guys, we do have AEW now finally giving their games update. If you're into the wrestling world, guys, AEW had their conference with the Bunny now being the new host of the game show, along with special guest official referee Audrey Edwards, who is working on the beta of the AEW General Manager game. And unfortunately, they realized and they do admit their mistakes that there were bugs due to the fact that the iOS and the Androids have been having issues with the crashes. But not to fret because this is just a beta. All they want to do is make sure that if there's any negatives going wrong, they'd be glad to take their feedback so they can fix the results before the alpha comes out. The casino game is trash, so don't bother with that crap. And we do finally get an update with Kenny Omega, who only updates the main AEW video game coming out sometime, hoping comes out 2022. And his review is that we get to see a special review of Darby Allin in the game doing his move sets. We get what the ring site is and a little practicing with one of the green characters you get to see like you played the WWE games in creative mode. And we get to see his coffin drops from the inside and the outside of the ring. We get to see how the style was, and the graphics looks a lot more outdated than their little rip-off version of Battlegrounds, where their style looks pretty stupid. But it looks. Someone did say that it is a little more focus of Here Comes the Pain, which is one of the best wrestling games that came out. So that's pretty much great news with AEW, and I'm really hoping because I really do want to play the AEW games, especially with WWE 2K22 is coming out this year, and they did a great job with their trailer. So we'll hear updates from them sometime in the future. What are your thoughts about this, Gio?
On what, Kevin? Real quick.
You didn't hear the whole thing, did you?
I did, but I got a text to refresh my memory real quick.
Are you hyped or wondering what's going to happen with the next AEW video game coming out soon and WWE 2K22 updates?
Oh yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hoping it's good and not bad. NBA 2K seemed like about 2K21. It was pretty good, but like I felt like they're falling into the same pattern of Madden that roster update every year. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping they make a good game. That would be great.
Do you really think it's gonna be a good game, or you just wanted to get something for that little drawer of yours to eat some peanut butter and stuff?
No, I am. I'm actually hyped. I'm hyped for these games. We haven't had a good. I don't think we have had a good wrestling game in a while.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the last one was probably 2K16.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so with that, again, guys, we would say our farewell. Well, anyway, guys, have you any last things to say before we end today's episode?
PlayStation. Danger,
See you
danger.
next time.
PlayStation, get your shit together. Bandai, get your shit together. Everyone in the
Nah,
console world.
Bandai's too busy giving us Digimon cards at the
Mm,
moment.
everyone in the Xbox, get Xbox, get Bethesda shit together because they're trash. That was a waste of $7 million you spent.
You know, it happens. Nobody's perfect.
All right, and let me know what you guys in the comment section below. What do you guys think of this year's direct? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it okay? Was it meh? Was it boring? How do you guys see it? And if you guys don't have to explain about the guys talking, I mean, we all know we don't really care for that. We mostly just want to hear about the gameplays, the game trailers, and that way we focused on it. But what do you guys think of everything, especially with Xbox first conference with Bethesda and how great Nintendo was, or if you miss a game that Nintendo didn't provide that you were expecting for, or Smash character if you're into that, let me know and I'd be glad to hear your feedback. And with that, the guys, I hope you guys all have a great night. So this will be farewell from Noel since he's no longer on the call. He'll probably say his goodbye. Farewell from Giovanni.
Until next time.
And this is Fortress Striker signing off.